You can now use officially verified community mods in Hogwarts Legacy thanks to the development team's recent update, and I'm going to walk you through some of the best new ones or the most fun ones that I think you need to try on PC, including 2 new dungeons to do, dragon mounts, instant spell casting, and outrageously good cosmetics actually that I think should have been in the game at launch, just like this this chicken wand here. Because starting this game with a lot of these mods active generally makes it feel like a completely fresh playthrough, and you can actually download all of them very easily and without paying a single galleon to do so, with just one click in the main menu after you update the game to the latest version on Steam on PC, as you can kind of see me do here. Now, with all of these mods being virus-free, verified by the Hogwarts Legacy developers directly, as well as their support partner CurseForge, who is the world-leading mod platform, which I've personally used for over a decade in World of Warcraft, so they're solid, they're very good, and they're also kindly sponsoring this video. Now, if you are loading an old save file in Hogwarts Legacy and jumping back into your character, then the first mod that you definitely want to download in the marketplace is the Dungeon of Doom and Sam's Dungeon, and experience the kind of new content here for yourself, as the Dungeon of Doom, which is located underneath Hogsmeade, has been created with a Dark Souls combat in mind here, where you constantly need to fight off waves and waves of enemies as you make your way through this labyrinth to defeat the final boss. And if you die, you die, which means you have to go back to the start of the dungeon all over again. And it is harder than you think, especially when you've been searching hidden rooms and secret passageways for like 15 minutes, and then you just fall off one of these floating edges just as you're about to get to the end of the dungeon. And the same goes for Sam's Dungeon here, which is an excellent puzzle dungeon that incorporates pretty much everything challenging from the main game, and then just brings it all together in one compact dungeon that took me way too long to figure out and to complete, but definitely good fun. Now, what I would say is if you enjoyed playing Hogwarts Legacy at launch, it's worth trying this mod update just for these 2 dungeons with no other mods attached to your game, so you can't cheese through it or cheat through it by spamming Avada Kedavra every enemy without a cooldown, which we will get to soon, by the way, because you can do that in this mod update and it's pretty fun. Now, once you're done with your dungeons, or you fancy starting a completely fresh playthrough with Hogwarts Legacy, then you want to head either back to the main menu, or if you've got CurseForge downloaded, the launcher, before you do start the game, as you just want to batch download a few priority non-negotiable mods in my opinion. Now, first up, you want to download the skip intro mod, which means that you can start the game from the quest called Secrets in the Restricted section, which you may remember is the mission just before you can kind of get straight out into the open world unrestricted, and that means you don't have to spend 45 minutes on the intro and tutorials. Secondly, you'll then need to download perhaps the most important mod in this update, and certainly this video, and that's the Thug Life Shades. Because there's nothing more gangster than spamming Expelliarmus at loads of dark wizards who want to kill you. Next up, download the Hogwarts Hairstyles mod, as well as the 31 More Hairs mod, which has some banging new lids for you to choose from there, just to kind of mix it up with your character, which, when you actually combine that with the Cliffans outfit mod, gives you a full customization revamp for your character, essentially, as there's several new robes to flick through, including this scale jacket, dragon scarf, dragon house robes, and even this Slytherin skull relic robe if you're partial to it, especially if you want to play as Sebastian Sallow, because good news, you can do that in this mod update. All you need to do is head into the visual mods category in the mod menu and download the Sebastian preset mod, as well as the Durmstrang outfit mod, famously worn by Mr. Crumb from the Durmstrang Institute, of course, a school that is notorious for producing dark witches and wizards. And would you look at that, we've now got ourselves a brand new playthrough with Sebastian Sallow sorted with Durmstrang robes, and I'm not going to change his hair to any funky colours. We're going to go with the original preset, but we will definitely run with those Thug Life glasses. I think those shades, it's a touch of class. In fact, before we do get to business in the open world, let's also download another mod called Casual NPCs, because this changes the outfits of various NPCs throughout the world to create a more immersive environment in games. So their outfits should, with certain NPCs, change when you kind of next see them out and about or in cutscenes. For example, Gareth here has actually changed his clothes to something a little bit more slimming here, and Amit Thakkar in Ravenclaw has also had a bit of a change, and Leander Pruitt for Gryffindor, just as some examples, with more mod updates to come for lots more NPCs around the world as time goes on, which is a lot of work behind the scenes from these amazing modders in the community. But the devil is in the details, as they say, and I appreciate the effort as a gamer and as someone who really likes this game. But in my opinion, one of the best things about Hogwarts Legacy is the flying mechanics. However, the only issue is unlocking a decent broom does take a bit of time to grind out in the main story game. But because we're starting a new game with mods, we can now install the Unlock All Brooms mod to get all of our favorite brooms or all of the fastest brooms in the game as soon as we log in, or certainly skip that intro when we start a new game. But I do hear what you're saying. Perhaps you're in the mood for something a little bit more spicy. I'll say no more, because InfinitumentLLC has uploaded a selection of dragon mounts via CurseForge that the Hogwarts Legacy devs have approved of, meaning that you can mount your very own green Welsh dragon, or even the Hebridean black, which we do see flying over the game every now and then, and it appeared in the main story. But perhaps most impressively, or certainly the coolest in my opinion, you can even get your hands on the Hungarian Hordtail from the Triwizard tournament in the Goblet of Fire, which is quite fun to use when you race against other students whilst they're on their brooms out in the world. But if dragons aren't your thing, you can download the Cat Broom mod to fly around on a cat in game for that full immersion if you want, as well as hop on your own Phoenix mount by grabbing the Phoenix Broom mod, which I actually think is a pretty banging mod, to be fair, and they're super strong in the lore technically, so I don't actually think this mod is breaking any lore here, so get that downloaded. Now, if you're enjoying this showcase so far, do leave a like on the video to show some support for the mod community creators. They deserve a lot of recognition for some of these hilarious and awesome creations for us to try for free, which we've got more to go through. And perhaps actually you want to start this playthrough as a complete dark wizard in terms of look and aesthetic, and that is now of course possible. And to get us looking like a Death Eater, what we want to do is we want to download the Dark Arts Makeup mod, which is a good start, but we also need some more mods if we want every NPC in the game to know that we mean business when we're doing side quests for them. Now, to bring that point home further, we'll also need to download the Unlock All Spells mod from the main mod menu, as well as the No Spell Cooldown mod. And I think you can kind of guess where I'm going here, because now we have our makeup on. We've unlocked all spells and unlimited cooldowns, as well as equipping our dark gold robe from that Cliffans mod that we downloaded earlier. And again, would you look at that? We're starting to look pretty decent, pretty mean, but we're not going to stop there. No, because we need two more things. We want the Dementor's Broom mod downloaded, which provides us with our very own escort around the very dangerous Hogwarts grounds. And whilst we are near the Black Lake, we can obtain our very final Dark Arts mod, which is the Elder Wand, also famously named the Death Stick, which we'll equip in the game in the same place that Voldemort took it from Dumbledore. And if you watch the films or read the books, you'll know exactly where we are here in game. And we're doing this for immersion and non-law breaking purposes, of course, but there's only one thing left to do now, and that's spamming AK to absolutely everyone that comes across in your path, especially in the Dungeon of Doom. If you couldn't complete it on your first run without mods installed, super fun, definitely recommend it. But after you've gone on an AK spam rampage, Ollivander has a couple more suggestions that are certainly worth a look in when it comes to your wand, because yeah, all right, the Death Stick's pretty cool, but I don't think it's as cool as sparking off spells with our Bombarder charm with a chicken in your hand as your wand, especially when you don't need to wait for cooldown. So to do this, you want to download the Wacky Wands mod, because not only will you get a chicken for a wand, it's also going to give you a wide range of different ones that just don't make any sense at all, but they're just hilarious. You never know. It's Russian roulette with wands. It's pretty fun. You definitely need to try it. And speaking of which, in homage to Mr. Potter, there is this lightning bolt wand mod, which isn't too shabby either, especially when you change it to green and fire off Cruciate with it, which looks pretty awesome as a kind of combo color mix up for sure. But perhaps maybe you want something a little bit more Merlin orientated, a little bit more in keeping with what a wizard is. Well, InfinitumentLLC, he's back again with the Staves of the Wands mod, which I think is pretty excellent for making you feel like a genuine wizard in the game. And even though all of these mods have been approved by the Hogwarts Legacy team, I do actually wonder if this is going to be included as an item or any sort of kind of wizard staff in a sequel. I just think it looks really cool. But I'll tell you what won't be in Hogwarts Legacy 2, and that's unlocking all of your talent points instantaneously, which you of course can now do by downloading the Unlock Talent Points mod. And whilst you're there, you may as well just download the full combat items mod as well to the download queue, as you're going to be able to gulp down all the damage increase potions that you want from your tool wheel in game, or you can just let your cabbages run amok in the local goblin fort without worrying that they're going to run out. In fact, one of the most challenging things about Hogwarts Legacy without any mods attached is the lack of inventory space. But MoxxyHaven, he's thought of this. He's a genius, because he's built us the increased gear capacity mod, which means that you don't need to leave anything behind in missions or when you're out looting or in dungeons because you've ran out of your inventory space. And I think all of these mods aside, this one in particular is genuinely an excellent modification to the game because you don't actually realize it's working during your playthrough, which means you can just loot everything you want and forget about inventory management, which in my opinion makes the game just way more fun. But I'll tell you what's even more fun and takes me back to the old kind of those old PS1 and those PS2 days, where you used to be able to enter cheats and cheat codes on your D-pad, on your controller, and then become invincible. And that's now possible, of course, here with this new mod called Cheat Plus, because not only will you become completely invincible and unkillable in this game, pretty much like you have several hundred Horcruxes attached to your in-game soul, but you can also enable the all shop inside this mod package, which means you can just open a shop menu and just sell all of your stuff instantly. Not that you really need to do that actually if you don't want to, because you can just give yourself several 100,000 galleons if there's something you're interested in purchasing, like a dragon mount from the Brood and Peck shop, I think, from Hogsmeade, that I actually wished you could just casually buy a dragon in the main game. Maybe in Hogwarts Legacy 2, I don't know, because I could just imagine myself buying a dragon and then just flying back to class from Hogsmeade. I think that would be pretty sick. Which, okay, fine, it wouldn't go unnoticed, right? But you can now go unnoticed in this game. In fact, you can now become completely unnoticed by enabling the AI detection mod in Cheat Plus as well, which means you can just run through all of the dungeons in the game or enemy camps like you've just cast the invisibility charm on yourself permanently, which is pretty cool and takes some time to get used to actually. But what about the room of requirement? Because we've captured a load of our magical creatures throughout the world and saved them from poachers, but can we use them as battle pets? Well, we absolutely can, because thanks to DekitaRPG, we have the Dekita Battle Pets mod, which allows us to capture, summon, and train pets throughout the world, which then can fight with us in battle alongside us. And this means that we can tame our very own fire-breathing chicken, which if you're into Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy lore, that will sound very exciting to you, just without the fire-breathing aspect. But that also means that we can unlock this chicken as a companion. So if you do want him follow all other creatures around the game, right? If you want them following you around the castle grounds and helping you out with your studies in class, this is now completely possible. But unfortunately, trolls aren't right now. So Dekita, if you're watching this video about your awesome mod, please do include trolls going forward as companions, as I absolutely need to have 3 of them escorting me around the Highlands because it fits my aesthetic. But you may be wondering, like Dumbledore, can we actually have our own Phoenix pet as our companion as we play through this game again? Well, not exactly, as it's a specific quest from the main story, so they're not just freely wandering around in the open world to be captured. Of course, the Phoenix mount here is an exception in that case, but if you download the Get Second Phoenix mod, this allows you to double your Phoenix feather rate back in your room of requirement for harvesting to construct or create your new robes and whatnot, because that material was really quite challenging and time consuming to obtain, as there was only 1 Phoenix in your room of requirement, and now we have 2 thanks to this mod, so double feathers. Now, speaking of the room of requirement though, you want to make sure that you download the instant growth and brewing mod from MoxxyHaven, as you'll be able to instantly grow plants and potions back in your room, which is honestly the best thing ever. That's only if you don't activate your full combat items mod for a full tool wheel, and you're playing this new playthrough semi-seriously, so you're not just cheesing the game like some of these mods. And actually, speaking of cheesing the game, there's an absolute gem of a mod here for you that you need to download, which is called the Alohomora Auto Solve mod, because not having to do this mini game going forward will just save you hours of time, literally. Now, I do have another Hogwarts Legacy video I made for you that I think you'll like if you certainly enjoyed this one, so it should be on your screen or on my face right now, so give it a click and hopefully I'll see you there in a second. Big thanks to CurseForge for sponsoring this video, as well as the Hogwarts Legacy team for giving me some time to get to grips with their awesome community mods, and Nika for helping me out behind the scenes. Butterbeer is on all of them, and hopefully I'll see you in that next video in just a moment.